Spring is one of my favorite seasons, obviously because the weather finally gets better and we can go outside and do more fun stuff. But more importantly, spring is always stacked with new releases, and that is exactly what's been happening the last couple of months. It honestly just feels like at this point, every single Tuesday there's a new release, and every single Tuesday I end up finding myself at a bookstore. If you follow me on Instagram, if you follow me on TikTok, you've probably seen a couple of the bookstore vlogs. And if you haven't, make sure to follow me on there. I have everything linked down below. But one thing about me, I love to jump on the bandwagon and read stuff as everything is getting released and while everything is super hyped up, so that way I can go online and see other people's opinions, reviews, but also go online and see spoilers of the books that I'm reading as soon as I finish reading them. I don't know how to explain it. I just love the sense of community that comes with it, and I've done the same thing with the Powerless trilogy. When Fearless came out, I was there day of. I posted a whole reading vlog about it, so much so that if I miss the hype train and the books that I'm reading are no longer like trending and a lot of people are not talking about them, I will go out of my way to search up reading vlogs and to search up videos of people talking about the book, because I just love to yap about the books that I'm reading. Honestly, that might be the sign that I need to start a book club. I don't know. But until I do that, the way that I satisfy that craving is by just buying new releases as soon as they come out. So for this week's video, we're going to be reading only new releases for an entire week. If you read any of these books, let me know your thoughts down below. Let me know your ratings. Did you agree with me? Did you disagree with me? Because obviously reading books is subjective and we're all going to have different opinions. So let me know your thoughts down below, and let me know what books you're planning on reading in the upcoming couple months, because the releases are not stopping. Every time I end up on booktube or booktok or whatever, I always just end up finding new books to add to my never-ending TBR. Honestly, just accepting my fate at this point. There's no possible way that I will get through every single book that I have on my radar, but that's okay. If you haven't already liked this video, please drop a like on this video. It helps out a ton. And also subscribe. If you haven't already subscribed, what are you doing? Please subscribe. But without further ado, let's get to it. Today we are starting a very, very highly anticipated read of mine, which is King of Envy. This is book 5 of the King of Sin series by Ana Huang. She's my auto-buy author. I feel like at this point I've read so many of her books. I recently did a video where I was continuing series and I read King of Sloth, which I thought I would not like, but then I ended up liking it a lot. I think I gave it like 4.5 or 4.75 stars or something like that. I was just like obsessed with the love story. I loved our two main characters together. I listened to some of it on audiobook, but I read most of it, and I'm just like in love with her writing. After going on a wild goose hunt trying to find this book, because for some reason this was not available at any Indigo like at all ever. I went on release day and I couldn't find it. I went on another day, I couldn't find it, and then I finally gave in and went to Walmart, and on my third attempt I finally found this copy at Walmart, but I don't really know exactly what happened there. I don't know if it's sold out or, because I even checked online and it wasn't available at any Indigo within the next like 90 miles for me. So all that to say, today I'm going to be starting King of Envy. As suggested by the title, I have very, very high hopes for this because I love a jealous MMC, and usually the titles kind of correlate with the personality type of the main guy characters in each book. I feel like I'm gonna eat this up, but this says he had everything he could have wanted except her. Dangerous, powerful, reclusive. Oh, this is Vuk story. Vuk made an appearance in the last book, King of Sloth, and he just gave me kind of weird vibes. I don't know if I'm gonna love him, to be honest, because he just doesn't talk to anybody, and I'm like, I don't know if that's like a personality quirk where he just doesn't like to talk to people. He doesn't think that people are worth his time, or if he has some sort of like thing that prevents him from speaking. I don't really know, but what I gathered from everything I know about this character from the previous book, he's very serious and very grumpy, and nobody really talks to him. He doesn't talk to anybody. If he needs to say anything, he will either have his assistant pass on a message or he will write it down on a piece of paper. So I don't really know what that's about, but I'm excited to find out. So this book follows the story of Vuk, who is notorious for shunning human interaction. The scarred billionaire rarely talks, and he also has no interest in relationships outside his small but trusted circle. The only exception? Her. The beauty to his beast, the object to his obsession. He saw her first, he wanted her first, but now she's engaged to his oldest friend, and the closest the wedding looms, the more he's torn between loyalty and desire. She should be his, and he might just have to risk it all to have her. And then our female main character, it says, beautiful, successful, glamorous. To the world, supermodel Ayana leads a perfect life. Her career has skyrocketed, and she's engaged to one of New York's most eligible bachelors. What people don't know is that the engagement is only a business arrangement. He gets his inheritance when they marry. She gets the money that she needs to leave her abusive agency. Pretending to be in love will be easy until she finds herself increasingly drawn to her fiance's enigmatic best man. Vuk thrills and terrifies her in equal measure. She knows she should stay away, but when the wedding is thrown into chaos, he's the only person that makes her feel safe. Until his past catches up with them and threatens everything they love. Okay. I feel like I'm gonna eat this up. I am a little bit worried because do you see how thick this book is? Take a guess on how many pages this is. Did you guess already? You have like 2 seconds. This book is 500 110 pages. That is crazy for a romance. So I really hope that it's plot heavy. I hope that a lot happens. I hope that there's a lot of personal growth and development in our characters, and I just hope that it doesn't like get boring, because that's my biggest ick when it comes to romances, because they really don't need to be 500 pages. So if you're gonna make them 500 pages, make it worth my while, you know what I mean? We're gonna start this today. Yes, I picked out my outfit specifically so I could match it. I thought that was really cute. Okay, I don't know, I'm just like romanticizing my day. I'm gonna go to a little coffee shop and get started on this book. I'm so excited. All right, let's go. It is the next day, and I have been reading King of Envy since last night, and I'm enjoying it very much so far. It's not my favorite right off the bat, like it hasn't hooked me like crazy right off the bat, but I feel like it definitely has potential to be pretty good. I'm currently in chapter 13, which is just at 108 pages, which is like a pretty good chunk of the way through the book already. Obviously this is a long book, so we have a lot that's about to happen. I wish it was a little bit more fast-paced. Specifically, there's like something that we still have unanswered from last book. I feel like Ana Huang's books usually are interconnected standalones, but they are standalones, so then when you start a story, everything gets concluded and tied all together in like a nice little bow at the end of every book. And then the sequels are usually more independent, where they follow the story of somebody that's like related to our previous main characters. But this story is so interesting because I mentioned in my recent reading vlog where I read King of Sloth, which is the book before this one, that towards the end there was some sort of like mystery aspect that we were supposed to get answered because somebody did something bad towards our main character, and then we never really found out who it was that did that bad thing, and I thought that we were gonna find that out last book. However, this main character from this book is also kind of involved in the situation, so it's so interesting to see kind of like a mystery carry over into the next book. I feel like that hasn't really happened in her other books yet. Hi guys, it is a new day, and I've been reading King of Envy basically non-stop since I started. However, I'm still not done because this book is so thick. Why are romance books 500 plus pages? I don't know. I think we should go back in time and normalize 300 to 400 page counts for romances, because what do you mean? What do you mean? That's not to say that I'm not enjoying it, because the story is definitely interesting, but it's just a lot. Like, a lot is happening, and we definitely didn't need so many things to happen in one specific book. Like, some of the stuff that's happening doesn't even have anything to do with the romance. It's just like other side things that are happening that are just involving side characters. I haven't given a verbal update in a while, but I have been writing notes, so let's talk about it. This book definitely feels a little bit heavier than her other romances. It's definitely leaning more into like darker-ish romance. It's not necessarily like super dark and super triggering, but it definitely has some darker themes as compared to like normal romances. And that's definitely not me complaining. I wanted to read a romance, but not like a fluffy, cutesy, like YA kind of romance. Like, I wanted it to have more like adult themes and have a little bit more spice, like not actual spice as in like spice out some books, but like, you know what I mean? It just had to have a little bit extra, so it wouldn't just be like the same boring romance plot with the same kind of tropes. Like, this is definitely a little bit different, and I am enjoying it for that reason. I feel like this is gonna be an unpopular opinion, but if you've been wanting to dabble into dark romance but you don't know where to start, I feel like this might be a good starting point, because I don't think this technically counts as dark romance, but it kind of like teeters towards it. So if you want to see if you have the guts for dark romance, because it's definitely not for everybody. Like, when I got into dark romance, I was like, oh my god, like literally questioning my morality, questioning my sanity. I was like, what the heck is going on? So if you want to kind of lean your way into dark romance, this might be a good book to start with. And that's because Vuk, who's like the main guy character in this book, is just super unhinged. And to be fair, it did say literally at the dedication to all the readers who like their fictional men a little unhinged. I didn't think it was gonna be a little unhinged. She's definitely a lot of unhinged. Like, there's so much that's happening that I just kind of shocked me. I was like, no way we get this out of an Ana Huang book. He's definitely the most intense book boyfriend out of every single other book boyfriend in Ana Huang universe, I think. One thing that's really interesting about this is there's so much overlap between other people that have been part of the series from the people that are just like part of the Ana Huang universe. And I think, you know, in every book they kind of name drop a couple people, or they might go to an event or a birthday party of somebody else, but in this one there's actual like plot lines, like major plot points that interconnect with other people from the series, and it's so fun. Like, that's so freaking interesting, because usually the story ends and then you don't really hear from those characters again, unless if they make a little guest appearance for like 2 seconds, or if they say like a one-liner, or if they just get mentioned by somebody for like 2 seconds. But in this one, you have characters from the last book that are actually joining in, they're interacting, they're having actual conversations with our main characters, they're literally participating actively in multiple scenes of things that are happening in the stories. Like, I'm really glad that I haven't skipped any of the previous books in the series, because even though it's interconnected, I feel like if you have read all of them and in order, it definitely makes a difference, and you know who these people are that get it brought up. The thing that I really like about this is at some point our main guy character gets a little kitty, or like rescues a little kitty, which is just like the cutest thing ever, but it's just also so jarring and so crazy. Like, I was not ready for that plot point at all, because when you meet our guy character, he's a scary man. Like, if I met this guy in real life, I would be freaking terrified. He's very intimidating in every sense of the word. He's like this big dude. He has scars from like previous trauma all over his body. He's like a scary reputation. This guy literally analyzes people, so he is so freaking scary. For him to go and rescue this cute little kitty and take care of it, it's just like such a crazy like contrast that literally caught me so off guard, but it was so cute. While we're on the topic of the cat, there was definitely some part of the story that involved the cat that I found to be a little bit ridiculous. I think Ana Huang snuck that in there as just kind of like comedic relief, because there's no way homegirl's being serious about this cat playing such a big role in such a crazy turn of events that happened. But you know, I let it slide because it was kind of funny. It's like in action movies when they do something completely ridiculous that is super unrealistic and would literally never happen in real life. But you know, I let it slide. I let it slide because there's a cute kitty involved. Anyway, so that's all my thoughts and opinions so far. I'm gonna finish this book. I'm really close to finishing it, so I definitely am gonna finish it today. And I'll be back to give you all thoughts, opinions, my final rating, and everything like that. It is a new day and I officially finished reading King of Envy. I feel like I was super thorough in my last update and everything like that stayed true until the end of the book. The end of the book was like, okay, obviously it's a romance book, so it went how you would like expect for it to go. And honestly, by the end of it, I was like a little bit bored. Like when I got to the last chapter, I was just kind of skimming through it because it's like, okay, like obviously we made it here, so obviously everything that happens in a romance book is gonna happen. I almost skipped the epilogue, but I'm honestly glad that I didn't, because this one is not like the usual, hey, it's been 2 years and we are engaged and we are pregnant. Like, it was very interesting because they threw a birthday party for the little cat, which I thought was like so cute. It's like such a random little thing, but it's relevant to their story and it's relevant to their characters. So it was like super cute to just like read about a cat's birthday party. I don't know, it was interesting, you know, it kind of caught me off guard. Overall, I think I enjoyed the book. It was definitely a little predictable and it was definitely a little too long. I stand by my original statement that regular romance books do not need to be 500 plus pages long. I don't think I've read a romance book that's 500 pages long. I thought, yep, all of the pages were mandatory in this book. You know what I mean? It's always too long. The story definitely could have been condensed to like 400 pages or something like that, and that way it would have taken out all like the little boring parts or the super predictable parts, or it wouldn't have been as long, you know what I mean? Also, something that's really interesting is the back of the book, like the synopsis, doesn't really explain what's gonna happen in the story. Like, it only explains a part of it, and that's kind of like one part of the plot, but there's like a whole under subplot that's not even hinted at in the synopsis, so it kind of caught me off guard. Like, I wasn't ready for it. Obviously, like, I enjoyed it because I enjoy reading about a couple like darker themes that kind of like teeter on like dark romance, but I feel like if you don't know that this book teeters dark romance, it might end up being like a negative surprise for some people. I don't really know what I'm gonna rate this book. There was like parts that I really enjoyed, but then it was just like so long that I felt like I forgot about the parts that I enjoyed, and I just kept thinking about how this book is literally so long for no reason. So I think I want to give it like 4 stars, 3.75, 3.5. I don't really know. It was okay. It wasn't my favorite, but like it wasn't bad either. It was just kind of long, so that's my final rating. It's literally 9 a.m. as I'm filming this, and this is my first coffee of the day. So if I sound like I don't know what I'm talking about and I don't know what I'm trying to say, that's why. Okay, I haven't fully woken up. I'm still in bed. Now that I finished that, I can go on to my next new anticipated release, which is Freida McFadden. I know she gets a lot of hate online for being kind of like a cheap-ish kind of author. Like, her thrillers are not usually the most like thought out, and they usually just revolve around the idea that the main character is just like dumb and has zero critical thinking skills. That being said, I will give credit where credit is due, and that is that Freida McFadden knows how to write a fast-paced thriller. Every single time I pick up one of her books, I end up finishing it within like 24 or 48 hours because it just hooks you right into the story. It's so quick. And even though you're reading dumb shit sometimes, it's still just like such addictive, fast-paced writing that you cannot put it down. And obviously you want to finish it because you want to figure out what the heck is going on. So all that to say, I'm going to read The Tenant. Honestly, the last few Freida McFadden books that I've read, I have not enjoyed as much. Like, I recently read The Crash, which I think she released in like December or January or something like that, and I read that one. Didn't really love it. I gave it like 3 stars. And then before that, I read The Boyfriend. Didn't really love that one either. The plot twist was like okay in that one, and honestly that's my only hope for Freida McFadden books. One thing that she does really well is she'll have a banger plot twist most of the time. I'm really excited to finally get a really good plot twist in this one. If you've never read Freida McFadden before and you want to give it a try, I recommend reading Never Lie. That is my favorite of her. It's like a winter setting, so definitely read that in the winter because it has like super spooky vibes. And then I also really liked the Housemaid series, book 1 and 2, and a couple other ones that I really enjoyed were The Perfect Son, War D, and whatever you do, do not read The Gift. It's a little Christmas novella. It was awful. I literally gave it 1 star or 2 stars or something like that, which is like my absolute lowest rating that I've given one of her books, and literally total waste of time. I hated that one, so definitely don't read that one. But today we're going to be reading The Tenant. This is her new release. I honestly haven't heard too much about it because I knew that I was going to read it, because even though some of her books totally miss, I will still just like read all of them. There's no place like home. Blake Porter is riding high until he's not. Fired abruptly from his job as VP of Marketing and unable to make the mortgage payment on the new brownstone that he shares with his fiancée, he's desperate to make ends meet. Enter Whitney, beautiful, charming, down to earth, and looking for a room to rent. She's exactly what Blake is looking for. Or is she? Because something isn't quite right. The neighbors start treating Blake differently. Smell of decay permeates his home, no matter how hard he scrubs. Strange noises jar him awake in the middle of the night, and soon Blake fears someone knows his darkest secrets. Danger lives right at home, and by the time Blake realizes, it'll be far too late. The trap is already set. Okay, I'm really excited. Let's get started. Alright. I feel like her books are perfect palette cleansers, which is why I'm super excited to get into this, because tomorrow we have one of my most highly anticipated releases of the year that comes out. It's a sports romance. It's the last book of a series. This is your only hint that you'll get until you see me going to book shopping tomorrow. So I really need to finish this, because as soon as that book comes out, I don't care if I'm like literally right before the cliffhanger or anything. I'm putting everything else aside and reading that book. So hopefully we'll be able to read this today. Freida's books are never really long. This one says it's going to take me about 5.5 hours to finish. So I feel like I can definitely do that. We can definitely make that happen. This dedication is funny. It says, for my first roommate who would set her alarm for 3 in the morning to wake up and study, and then would put it on snooze twice. I forgive you. Oh my god, that's funny. This is the perfect reading buddy, by the way. I feel like this guy deserves everything that's about to happen to him. In the very first chapter, he's engaged and he's at his dream job. In that same chapter, he goes, I turn my eyes away from the window. My boss's secretary Stacy standing at the open door to my office, knocking on the door for him to get my attention. She's got my attention, and that skirt, holy crap, she has my attention. Sir, you're engaged? Already, I don't like him. I literally don't care what happens to him. I don't know. Maybe that's a little extreme because I don't know what's about to happen to him, but I don't know. It's already giving weak values and insecure men. guys, it's a bunch of hours later. I read through quite a bit of this without really giving an update because I feel like everything they have said up until this point kind of like continued and it stayed relevant for the rest of the story. The story split up into parts. Part 2 was, I think, was supposed to be a big plot twist, but maybe it's because I've read a lot of her books or maybe because I read a lot of thrillers. I definitely found that to be a little bit predictable, which is kind of crazy because I feel like usually the Freida McFadden plot twists, they always kind of get me. It wasn't as interesting as I was expecting it to be. I'm pretty close to being done, but I'm going to be starting part 3, which I think is the last part of the book. I've been reading this basically non-stop. It's a very easy read. Like the vocabulary that's used is always like super simple. The sentences are super simple, so I'm able to read this like really, really, really fast compared to like a fantasy or other types of book. Hopefully part 3 will have a bigger and better plot twist. We'll see. I'll keep you posted. Hey guys, it's a while later and I have been reading this book basically non-stop since I started, and I am a little bit sad to announce that I'm not really loving it. It's honestly just kind of boring for me right now, to be honest. I don't know exactly what it is. I think it's because so much of the book takes place literally at their apartment, which obviously makes sense because it's called The Tenant, so obviously it follows the story of all these terrible things that are happening to our main character Blake that the tenant keeps doing to him. However, he doesn't have enough evidence to prove anything, and it's all just like small, slightly inconvenienced things. Like, for example, leaving a bag of old fruit that are just like rotting away and it creates a bunch of fruit flies and they can never really find the source of it for a long time. So it's just like stuff like that's just like inconveniences. However, the tenant is very manipulative and is putting on this show as being like a normal, polite, nice tenant to his fiance. And honestly, at this point, I don't know. I don't like anybody. I don't really care for my main character because obviously we've established in chapter 1 that he is not loyal to his fiance. He's always like eyeing other girls, and the tenant just sounds like she's a bitch, pretty much, like doing a bunch of things and then playing it off like she's really nice, and the fiance is just kind of bored. She's like, I'm done with your shit, like figure it out. I don't know, to be honest. I don't really care. I'm not super invested in the story. Like I have been reading it really fast, but a lot of it is just non-stop kind of like repeated monologue about how like, oh, this is what I found and that makes me really angry and I can't believe the tenant did this, and ever since this tenant came into our lives she has literally ruined everything, and how am I gonna stop her from doing more horrible things? How am I gonna get revenge on her? What am I gonna do to make this go away? And it's just like non-stop, like basically everything I just said, like repeated every single chapter. Like after every single incident he says something along those lines, and I'm just like, oh my god, like I don't care. Call the police or something, like do something. I don't care. So in true thriller nature, our main character Blake has literally 2 brain cells that are working very hard to come up with any kind of reasoning or to come up with solutions, but with every chapter his decisions just get like dumber and dumber and more questionable, and it's like at this point you're not even trying to allow yourself to get in a better situation. You're just like making everything worse. And so I don't really know. I don't care for him. He's kind of dumb. I don't care for any of the characters involved. I'm just slightly curious. I'm not very much drawn into the story. I could DNF this book right now and not even care that much, or I could just Google the plot twist and look into it and like go to bed happy tonight, but I guess I've made it to this point. I might as well keep reading. This guy has checked out not 1, not 2, not 3, but 4 different girls while in a relationship. One of them being literally the tenant that he got. Okay, come on. Literally as soon as she shows up, he's like, wow, she's kind of hot. Like, buddy, you are literally engaged. So I back up my original statement about everything that happens to him is karma. It's my reading buddy right now. Yeah, today we're starting in the car, and I feel like you might have an idea of what that might mean because every single time that I start a vlog in the car, it usually means we're going book shopping. So that's exactly what we're doing today. One of my most anticipated book releases of the entire year came out today, which is Rewind It Back by Liz Tomforde. It's book 5, I think, of the Windy City series, which is one of my favorite series pretty much like of all time. Like I skipped the first book. I didn't like the first book very much. I DNF'd it, but every single book since I've absolutely adored. Today we're gonna go to the bookstore and pick up the latest book. I am so excited, but also like not really excited because as soon as I binge that book and it's done, basically means there's no more of that world, there's no more of those characters, and I honestly don't know what I'm gonna do. I feel like I've grown too attached to fictional characters. So anyways, either way, that's a problem for future me, but for now, let's go book shopping. I went to bookstore. This was the first thing that I picked up just because it's such a highly anticipated release. I'm so excited. I do have a couple other books. I'm filming another video today, so I'm shopping for other stuff, but you're gonna have to wait until that video comes out. This is so interesting. It has like a dual color thing. So like the first page is like black with white lettering, and like every title page is like that. But then the rest of it is just like regular black and white. It's so cool. Also, this book just feels really good. I'm so excited. I can't wait to start this. Hello, last time I gave a verbal update was a very long time ago, but all you need to know is that since the last update to right now, all I have done is basically been binging this book. This is Rewind It Back by Liz Tomforde. I picked it up at the bookstore yesterday, started reading it immediately, and I have been hooked onto the story ever since. I read the first 12 chapters last night, but I was in bed, I had my makeup off, so I didn't want to like sit and give a full update, so I will do so now. So far, I am obsessed with the story. I love our main characters. First of all, I love everything about this book. I love how it feels. It's just like so floppy. I love the aesthetics of it. Like every chapter, for some reason, the pages are black with white text, and also just like the cute little doodles I think are adorable. I love how it's written. There's so many things that I have highlighted, so many things that I've underlined, so many things that I think deserve to be tabbed, and I just feel like this is for sure gonna be a 5-star read, and I'm not even halfway done yet, so that's kind of a bold statement, not gonna lie. But I don't know, something about Liz Tomforde. She always knows how to write these books. She always knows how to pull on my heartstrings. She writes some of the best book boyfriends of all time. I absolutely love the found family aspects. So if you love found family, you're gonna love this, because all the couples from the previous books, they're all close friends. They all hang out. They're literally like a family. They have family dinners every single Sunday, and I love them. I love how they keep making reappearances in the following books, and we keep like learning more and more about their stories. And I have been binging this non-stop. The story is so captivating. It's so fast-paced. There's so much to unpack, because our two main characters, Rio and Holly, were childhood friends to lovers. So they've known each other since they were 12. They have so much history, so many fun, cute little traditions, things that they did when they were young. But obviously, as you would expect from a second chance childhood friends to lovers, something went down. We don't even know what it was that happened between them yet, but fast forward to the present timeline, we find out that Rio, who's our guy main character, for some reason hates her, while he also has very strong conflicted feelings towards her. So I don't really know exactly what went down. I just know they were like super close, they were each other's firsts and that whole thing, and then something happened and he tore them apart. So then the current timeline picks up 6 years after their last conversation that they had, when they randomly bump into each other in Chicago because he got signed with a professional hockey team. He's a professional hockey player, which like, you know, I eat that up every single time. If Holly was going on a first date with a guy and he surprises her with a freaking hockey game. So they are there, he's playing, they lock eyes, and it's like this whole crazy intimate thing, and basically kickstarts the whole story. Oh, and to add on to that, it just so happens that Holly moves in with this girl that lives right next to Rio because she renovated her house. She's working to be an interior designer, and she did such a good job for her friend. Like, hey, you did such a good job with my house, but I also have my next door neighbor and he wants to revamp his house, so is it okay if I give you the contact? She's like, yeah, for sure. And then come to find out that the next door neighbor is actually Rio, her first love, who they hate each other. So I was so excited. really needs this contract, so she can't really back down because she's an intern at this point, but she's hoping to get a full-time job with this interior designer company that she's with. But in order to do that, she needs to do a really good job at renovating his house. So that means it's gonna be forced proximity. They have to work together on this project. They have to, you know, bounce ideas off each other so she can figure out what kind of home he's wanting to get. Obviously, I have been having so much fun with this, just like underlining, highlighting. Like if I tabbed every single thing that I think deserves a tab, I would literally run out of tabs so quick. So I'm trying to be a little bit more picky for the second half of the book, but so far it is just so good. Guess what just happened? Guess what just happened? Single bed trope. When I thought this book could not get better. It's literally, we are getting fed with the best of best tropes. Oh my god. He says, I wish you could see inside my head how you see the picture I've got painted of our future, and every part of it revolves around you, okay? I promise. Shut up. This is the past timeline though, so clearly something went wrong with that vision. Hello, it is a new day, and I am almost finished with Rewind It Back. This book is so good. As you can see, I've been continuously annotating the whole thing. I have just a little bit left. I'm currently like at the very end of the book, and I'm just like loving the depth of this. There's so many complex relationships in this. There's so much that went into play into their story, why they ended up the way that they did, and I absolutely love the way that it's being told. I feel like sometimes when there's dual timeline with these like second chance, childhood friends to lovers kind of romances, sometimes they're told in a really annoying way where they have like really long chapters of the past timeline, and I'm like, okay, like I want to know what happened, like what's going on in the present, like what actually went down. But I feel like this one is paced so well, because we'll have a couple chapters in a present timeline from each of our characters, and then we'll randomly occasionally get a throwback chapter from one person's perspective at a specific age, and then every time we get a past timeline chapter, it goes up by a year, so you get really quick progress of how things are happening. This is them at age 16, this is them at age 17, this is them at age 18. So I feel like it goes by really fast, which keeps it very interesting, because sometimes when the past timeline is too long, I just feel like I get kind of bored, because I did not pick this up to read a YA romance, and sometimes a lot of those books feel very YA because we spent so much time when they're young adults as opposed to their present and their current timeline. So I'm very excited. I have been loving annotating this. I'm literally every few pages I'm underlining something or something else. It's like doodling away. I'm having the time of my life figuring out some of my favorite quotes, some of my favorite parts of the book, and I'm absolutely loving this story. Also, there's so many guest appearances from all our side characters that we all know and we all love because we've already read all of their stories and the duration of the series. So at this point, the Found family is amazing. I love the whole friend group. I love all the couples, the siblings. I feel like I know everybody in their life, and it's so rewarding. Also, I'm pretty sure they're hinting at another book, even though this series is over. I think this is for sure book 5 and the last book of the series. I don't know if she's gonna do a spin-off or anything like that, because they're talking about Monty, who is Miller's dad from booktube. He's also the coach for the baseball team, which is 2 brothers that both have their own books, and Isaiah was one of my favorite book boyfriends in book 4. So I'm really excited to see Monty's story. I don't know, they were kind of hinting at it in Play Along. They were saying that he was meeting with somebody and that he kind of had like interesting energy when he met with a potential romantic interest, but I didn't think we were gonna get a book from him. So I don't even know what's gonna happen now. Like, is there another whole spin-off series? Is it just like one book? Is it a novella? I don't even know, but I really hope we do get Monty's story, because like, why did they bring it up again? They just brought it up how even though he's like this old coach, he looks good for his age, and you know, TikTok says he's of beekeeping age. I don't even know what that means, not gonna lie, but yeah, I'm gonna keep reading. This is so good so far. Monty's getting a book, I was right. At the very end, she goes, "You didn't think I forgot about Monty, did you? Turn the page for a sneak peek of my next book." Are you joking? Oh my gosh, wait. That's crazy. Oh my gosh, the new team owner. I remember reading about her. Reese, 35-year-old. Oh my god. So good. So good. Dare I say 5 stars. Dare I say the whole series is 5 stars, even though I didn't have the first book. I just might have to. Look at my annotations. Honestly, everything that I was saying earlier still stands. This book is just so good. The found family is so good. The romance is so good. The chemistry between our main characters, so good. I love the pacing. I love the build-up. I love the issue that they had that caused their initial breakup. It wasn't anything silly. It wasn't anything stupid. There was a part of the book that implied that there might be a third-up breakup, and I was like, no way. No way. Liz Tomforde is gonna do that to us. And she didn't. It actually kind of caught me by surprise. It was just so good. Oh my gosh. 5 stars. 5 freaking stars. I feel like this is in my top 3 favorite books of the series so far. I don't know exactly the order that I'm gonna finalize on. I think Play Along, which is book 4, was my favorite. Then maybe this one. And then book 2. I don't know. Do I have to go back and reread all of them? Maybe I do. They're so freaking good. Wow. I could start crying again just thinking about it. This is so good. If you haven't read the series, please go read it. This is your sign to go read it. I literally never shut up about these books. I never shut up about Liz Tomforde's writing. I want to go back and see if she has other books that she's releasing. Obviously, we have Monty's book that's coming out. But I don't know if she has like a backlog of like other books, because I would love to read more of her work. I feel like it's so good. Everything about it's so good. And I'm so glad that I found this version of the book, because I've been seeing people online and they go in and for some reason the last book has like a different cover. So I don't know if she's like re-releasing all of them, or if she's trying to match it with like her future books, or I don't know what's going on. But I'm really glad that I went in and picked this up, and the cover perfectly matches my other ones, even though I don't have them in this bookshelf right now. They're at my boyfriend's place in Miami, so I need to go and freaking get those and bring them back to my house in Canada, because they're honestly just like some of my favorite reads. They're my babies. They are my babies. I love the series so much. I guess that brings us to the end of this video. I really hope you guys enjoyed. If you did, make sure you give this video a thumbs up, because it helps me out a ton. And comment, "I thought you were headed to the roof." That's my favorite part of today. Also, make sure to follow my other socials. I have my main Instagram, my bookstagram, my booktok, regular TikTok, my Goodreads, and everything like that linked down below. So scroll down in the description and follow me on whatever platforms you use the most. And that is it for me. I hope you have a great rest of your day, and I will see you hopefully in the next one. Bye!